Hi everyone, it's Mr. D. I'm checking in after my surgery. It's day 2. Yesterday I had my surgery. It didn't go as planned. They actually had to take my ACL and replace that, but it's all good. And I'm going to be traveling around on this for the next couple of days. There's my knee. Going to be in this brace. Can't do much. There's my crutches there too. Can't play basketball for about 7 to 9 months, so that's a bummer. But once again, I told you this before that even with one leg, I'm still better than Mitch Long. He's not that good. He's terrible. But maybe one day he will be able to dunk or something like that for a 7-foot guy. So what I'm going to do over the next couple of days, I'll check in with you video-wise and just kind of give you a brief explanation of what you learned for that day by drawing. And I believe you guys and girls did draw a visual diagram of what you learned today. So let's backtrack real quick. So over the past couple weeks, we have been learning about governments. And we learned in the beginning about a king, monarchy, abusive, too powerful. The colonists had no say, they had no rights, really. They felt like they were second-class subjects. And they really just wanted to get rid of it and find something that wasn't abusive. So they did. They overthrew the government and then they created the second government that they used. They overthrew that and they went through the Articles of Confederation. So the Articles of Confederation is something that the founding fathers of this country said that they did not want to be too strong. So they decided they're going to create something intentionally that is weak. This government could not have an army, which we understand because the king abused his powers with an army. They also said they couldn't tax. The government couldn't collect any debt owed to it, and also couldn't have any idea of a court. So after Shays' Rebellion, you then see the government exposed for what it really was. It was too weak. It wasn't anything that was to brag about, and it was falling apart. The government couldn't protect its own citizens because it had no money, it had no army. So therefore, the people said, we need a new government. And what they do is, they decide to create a new government in Philadelphia. The states, 12 of the states actually, not all, sent representatives, 55 total, in this constitutional convention. And they're going to sit down and they're going to talk about and hammer out a new type of government. One government that's not too strong like a king, but not too weak like the Articles of Confederation. Something that's in the middle. So, these delegates create the first particular plan. And the first particular plan is going to really cater towards large states. This particular plan is called the Virginia Plan. Now, you are going to see other plans. And these other plans are going to really kind of just go along with what the state wants, and mainly what the size of the state is. This plan was created by James Madison. And James Madison's plan, he was a Virginia boy, and he decided that he was going to create a plan that really catered towards large states. And you get an idea of why it's called Large State Plan. Because if you look at the size of Virginia on your population census, Virginia had over 400,000 people in it. Now, I know today you may say to yourself, that's not much. But if you think about the time period, 1790s around there, this time period is really, that's a lot of people. You have other states like Delaware that has 59,000 people. And so this state was possibly the largest in the entire country at the time. So this plan is really going to cater towards large states. They come up with a plan that's going to have a 3-branch government. And what I like to do with this branch government is I like to create a visual that is a tree. And this tree that we're going to draw is going to have 3 branches. Each branch is going to represent a branch of the government. So very important that you have this. Each branch in this particular government is going to be equal. No branch is going to be more powerful than the other. But they're all going to have separate jobs. So I'm going to put some foliage on this tree. This is a beautiful tree. 1 branch, 2 branch, 3 branch. Beautiful broccoli. All right, so let's talk about each branch. This plan has a 3-branch government, and it's going to have the first branch, in no particular order, it's not that big of a deal, but it's called the legislative branch. This branch is the controversial branch because this is where you're really going to see the differences between the plans. And this particular branch is going to make laws. And it's going to make the laws for the entire country, which people have to obey, like taxes, or can you have a government that can declare war? But the thing about this is that this government right here with the legislative branch, it's not going to be just one person. And by the way, each state is going to have representation. So that means that all 13 states are going to be allowed to send representatives to the legislative branch to help make the rules and laws for this country. So every state's going to have a say. The two branches inside of this right here that's going to make up the legislative branch are actually going to be called the Senate and the House of Representatives. So these two are going to make the rules and laws. Each state is going to be able to send people to these houses, Senate and the House of Representatives, and they're going to make the rules and laws. But the big thing about this plan was James Madison said, you know what? I feel like Virginia is a very large state, so I feel like they should have more say. They should have more power in the lawmaking process. So both of these two are going to be based on population. And that means the more people you have in your state, the more say you are going to have. So let's just say, for instance, that for every 100,000 people, you get to have one representative. Well, if you look at Virginia, they have 400,000 people. So they're going to have 4 representatives. But then you see Delaware, who has 59,000. They don't quite have 100,000, but each state will still get one representative, at least. So therefore, Delaware will have 1 representative. Virginia will have 4. Virginia has more power in this particular plan because they feel like their state's bigger, they have more people, they should have more of a say in the process. Whereas Delaware, small, not as many people, they shouldn't have much of a say. So you're going to see tomorrow that the small states are not going to like this plan whatsoever. Another part of this plan is going to be the executive branch. Now, this particular branch is basically like the president or the king. But in this case, they are not going to have a king. They're going to have a president. And this branch is going to do things like enforce the laws. So if a law is made, the president or the executive branch is going to make sure that this law is carried out, that people are actually following it, and people are doing what's necessary for it. So basically, I guess the idea would be that, think about Shays' Rebellion. If something like Shays' Rebellion were to happen again, the president would be able to then say, all right, well, I'm going to enforce the laws because people cannot go acting crazy and start taking over courts and banks and things like that. So I'm going to send in an army so that the president can actually enforce the laws made to ensure the safety of the people and the success of the country. The last branch that we're going to talk about is going to be the judicial branch. This branch is actually my favorite branch. This branch is going to be responsible for judging the laws. And what that means is that they're going to look at the laws made by the legislative branch and then the laws enforced by the president and the executive branch. And they're going to make sure that those laws are safe, that they're good, that they're legal, that they're actually something that's going to benefit the people. For instance, if the legislative branch makes a law that says that every person in the legislative branch gets a Lamborghini, and the president included, right? So they're going to make the law. It's going to happen. The executive branch is going to carry it out to make sure that everybody gets their Lamborghini. Then the judicial branch is going to look at that, and they're going to say, you know what? That's not a good law. I don't like that idea. And they're going to strike that law down, and they can't have that law because they're going to say that's a waste of taxpayer money, that those people should not be spending money on themselves. They should be spending the money on the people. So there you have a 3-branch system government that's going to make sure that the people are being taken care of. People have a voice. The people have a say. No one is more powerful than the other. But in this particular case, population is going to dominate how much say and how much power you have. So big states are happy. Hip, hip, hooray. They're doing their thing. But small states are not very happy about this at all, and they're going to have a say tomorrow with the New Jersey plan. So once again, this is our government tree, and this is what it should look like, something close to it. I hope I clarified anything. If you had any questions, also, if you want to email me about a question, or if you want to Schoology message me, I will gladly answer and make sure that you guys are taken care of. So, I'll see you tomorrow, or I'm sorry, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll talk about the New Jersey plan. Have a good one, people.